Hi, I'm Mike Zaida, and today we're going to be giving a new talk on large language models and generative AI. Oh my. This is an article I put into IEEE Computer Magazine, and it will come out around the 1st of March. So let me share my slides, and we'll go through that. All right, let me put the slides on play. Okay. The field of artificial intelligence has a miserable reputation with respect to promises made and results delivered. And last century, this led to many periods of AI winters and the hype surrounding large language models. And generative AI could potentially join this historic trend. We do not hope. AI winters are periods of low to no funding by government agencies and the venture community. AI winters usually come when grand promises are made by researchers and startup founders to interest government funding agencies and investors. And grand promises are made, funding is provided, and results delivered are less than stellar. So new funding and interest dry up and blow away and rinse and repeat at a later date. And it seems that AI has had this pattern for its entire career. So this is a example of AI winters from the last third of last century. And you can see all of the different things that people said this is going to happen and it's going to be great. And basically, there's a hype cycle by researchers, which is amplified by press. There's unrealistic expectations, disappointment, leading to funding cuts and more researchers abandoning the area. I'll show you the hype cycle in a second, but it starts with hype, which is defined as extravagant or intensive publicity or promotion, according to the online Oxford Language Dictionary. In our case, with respect to AI, this starts with big researcher promises, followed by press amplification of those promises. And it looks exactly like this. You've got researcher promises, press amplification of those promises, and then unrealistic expectations made, disappointments to funders, leading to funding cuts, and most researchers and investors abandoning the area. From industry, this all started with hiring people with the title evangelist, which was the warning sign to us all that something was not quite right. I've never liked that term out of industry. And out of this, the AI hype cycle has historically ended with those unrealistic expectations being made and people abandoning the area or stop working in the area or stop funding in the area. So all of us on the sidelines are wondering, is there a large language model or generative AI winter roaring towards us, or something useful going to come out of all of the noise? So large language models are deep learning models that are pre-trained on massive sets of data, some as large as 50 billion web pages and probably even larger at this point. And the core part of the LLM is a transformer model. A transformer model is a set of neural networks that consist of an encoder and a decoder with self-attention capabilities, meaning the models are capable of unsupervised training from data fed to them. The transformer models learn to understand the sentence, the paragraph, and complete article of the data presented. And transformers process entire sequences of data in parallel, meaning their computation can be performed on a GPU, a graphics processing unit, dramatically reducing the training time for the LLM. Now, this is all based on articles 2, 3, and 4 in this paper. Fully pre-trained large language models are called foundation models. Foundation models can then be specialized, built on top of, to create generative AI applications that can generate new text, new images, new audio, language interpretations, and other synthetic items. Generative AI applications, usually shortened to just generative AI, that people have been most excited about are ChatGPT, DALL-E, Midjourney, and now most recently, Google Gemini. And ChatGPT lets you provide it text, and it will give you a new text in response. For example, almost all my friends that tried ChatGPT 3.5 first asked it to write their personal biography. When I did this, it was sort of accurate, but had me dead at the end of the written bio. There were several mistakes in the bio, and there's no way anyone could ever really use the generated text. And this changed with ChatGPT 4.0, and I did the same test and got a reasonably excellent generated bio back. I only modified one sentence, and that was more for style than anything factual. In paper I wrote, reference number 6, I tried to hand ChatGPT 3.5 a full screenplay, which it rejected and had to settle for just a single scene from my favorite noir film, The Long Goodbye, 1978. And ChatGPT gave me a new scene that seemed pretty reasonable for a scene in a noir film, not yet made, but I did not provide ChatGPT any guidance as to how the scene fit into the larger story of the complete future film. DALL-E and Midjourney let you provide their generative AI applications text that describes an image that you would like created. I haven't tried DALL-E, but I have spent a lot of time playing with Midjourney. Let's talk about that experience in the next section. It's going to be called a Midjourney Thanksgiving. One of the things to know about me is that when my wife decides to have a large dinner party, I get tasked with creating place cards for each person attending. And I personalize these cards with respect to each person and with respect to the chosen theme for the dinner party. This year's theme was a Midjourney Thanksgiving. Here's my list of very short texts provided to Midjourney. I said, turkey at the beach in Carmel by the Sea, a turkey cooking dinner, a turkey playing an accordion, a turkey wearing a Mickey Mouse hat, a turkey wearing a space helmet, a turkey wearing a tool belt, a turkey with running shoes, a turkey working in a bank, and a happy Thanksgiving turkey apocalypse. And all of these were kind of aimed at the person who I was making the card for. So here is that collection of pictures that I ended up with from Midjourney. Upper left is a turkey at the beach in Carmel by the sea. Actually, Midjourney gives you 4 different pictures. It says, here are the 4 pictures I created out of the phrase you gave us. A turkey playing the accordion, a turkey wearing a space helmet, a turkey wearing running shoes, a turkey cooking dinner, a turkey wearing a Mickey Mouse hat, a turkey wearing a tool belt, a turkey working in a bank. All kind of interesting. And here is Happy Thanksgiving Turkey Apocalypse, which definitely that is a turkey apocalypse. Oh, and in fact, when you go back to this and you say, I think one thing that's really important to point out is a turkey cooking dinner. What is the turkey cooking? The turkey cooking dinner is cooking turkey on Thanksgiving, which makes sense. It's kind of like cannibalism, if there is a turkey cannibalism, if there's a word for that. So this is the artwork for each place card, and I would paste that onto a card, individualized with the name of each person using Photoshop. So we're just talking about Midjourney. So the individuals are not that important, except that the topic chosen for each image was turkey plus something to do with their occupation or life. I did not tell Midjourney to use a particular art style, yet it seemed to create each of these with a similar style. There's evidently a default art style there that is not explained to me. Midjourney did not provide me a reference or credit for that art style. Now we know that Midjourney's foundation model was trained by scraping imagery and text off of the internet. Nothing good ever comes from that, but maybe the creation of large language models is actually a much bigger thing than individual ownership of some of that artwork that's out there. But that's to be determined by courts. I did a turkey wearing a Mickey Mouse hat test to see if that would give me an image that would make Disney happy, and the turkey pics seem okay, but it gave me 2 Donald Duck pics. Donald Duck is a cartoon character created by the Walt Disney Company. So it kind of failed the Walt Disney test when I used Midjourney. And the question becomes, how can we use generative AI without some way of assuring us and our attorneys that we are not going to get sued for copyright infringement, or maybe even trademark infringement? This is already an issue, as the New York Times has sued Microsoft and ChatGPT maker OpenAI, and Apple is taking a different path with exploring AI training data licensing with a variety of news publishers. And I pointed some references there. So what maybe really needs to be done is the user of a particular generative AI architecture doesn't just use a training set built by scraping the internet, but rather is provided a tool that can scrape the internal art archives of the particular client. And this means if Walt Disney wants to use generative AI to create new characters, that the training set built for the generative AI tool is made by scraping the art archives of Disney's internal historical art production instead of the internet. So go inside, scrape your previously generated art for the entire history of Disney, and then ask the questions. And I'm not sure that this is an option offered by anyone right now, but maybe soon as issues of trademark and copyright become familiar to the tech industry. Once we have all of the copyright and trademark issues resolved for generative AI, then there is the potential for a bright future in entertainment, especially for the games and film industries. In the games and entertainment industry, there's always a demand for concept art, and the technology embedded in generative AI looks quite interesting for rapidly producing concepts in near real time while the development crew is still sitting around the discussion table. With respect to things beyond 2D concepts, there are generative AI startups focused on creating 3D assets and worlds rapidly. And there's a giant list. I suggest you go to the website in reference 11. Generative AI has a great future for game characters and NPCs as well. We will see. Everyone wants to invest in a generative AI superstar startup. A number of friends of mine that have asked if I know anyone at Anthropic is quite large. Everyone seems to want to invest in a generative AI startup, and the word on the street is that Anthropic is the one. Who knows? I still haven't figured out how to invest in Anthropic. Most of my money is in NVIDIA. There's a large list of generative AI startups in that list. If some of the fundamental issues of copyright and trademark can be rectified, then maybe some of these startups will sail past the culling soon to come. And maybe if all the beans line up, we will mostly miss another AI winter. These are the references. AI winter you can look up on Wikipedia, although Wikipedia is not super reliable for many topics. What are large language models? Generative AI exists because of the transformer. Transformer, a novel neural network architecture for language understanding. Generative AI on the Accenture website. A previous article I wrote entitled Hubris from the Metaverse to ChatGPT to TikTok's Time of Tribulation. I pointed to OpenAI's website for DALL-E, Midjourney's website. New York Times sues Microsoft ChatGPT maker OpenAI over copyright infringement. And Apple explores AI deals with news publishers and generative AI startups list, which I think is pretty cool and interesting. And I'd like to acknowledge the contributions of my many friends and colleagues in the games and computing industries, especially those who have been in AI since the near beginning. And you all have a nice day. This is a very short presentation. This paper actually comes out around the 1st of March very soon. You have a great day. And this has been the Games Column. If you need me, there's my email, there's my website. Have a great day. Again, this has been the Games Column from my basement office here in Carmel by the Sea. Have a great night.